Hello everyone and welcome to Not Our Podcast, where my chaotic friends and I share our stories about uni life, interesting situations we faced, and more. After all, we all have our own stories to tell, don't we? I'm your host Arika, and today we are going to talk about uni peeps. But this time we'll be discussing the staffs, professors and whatnot. Professors can be really kind, strict, or care not what you do. Same goes for the other employees from the campus. Today's episode will be shorter than usual because Ben and Rafi couldn't make it. Enjoy! Okay, so today we are gonna discuss the uni peeps and the staffs. For the staffs, lecturers, the professors or anyone.
Staff members.
Like let's say you go the first day in university, you go to uni and you were very unwelcome by one of the staff. Yeah, that can be a story too. And for me, I think most of the professors were nice-ish. I mean, they're interesting, not in a bad way. Like one professor was really chill, so I played Far Cry 5 in class.
Wow,
Played
that's
Far
nice.
Cry in class. Wow.
That's awesome.
nice.
It's a pretty good game. Yeah. But because the class was that it's a 6-hour class, and then I think we mostly discuss our film project, and usually those kinds of classes nearing the end of the semester, we just spend the class talking to the professor, like consulting about our project, and if we're done, we get to go home. So yeah, it's like a 6-hour class, but you go in. It's possible that you go in and spend time in the class only for 10 minutes, and then you go home. So
yeah, I feel you.
Oh, that's
Damn.
Definitely what design students get through, I guess.
Yep.
it's like there's nothing to learn anymore except you
Except just consulting.
yeah, except just consulting. And while waiting, I usually come early to class as well. So say class starts at 8, I would be there at like 7:30. And yeah, so from the morning when I first entered class, I played and while waiting. So that was fun. But there were also other professors that weren't really kind, not in terms of like chilling and not caring what you do, but like there was this part where I didn't sleep for a full day, 25 hours I stayed awake.
Holy shit, that's not healthy.
Whoa.
Says the
Hey,
vampire.
at least he didn't stay awake for 2 days, so it's fine.
Most of the time I spent cause it was production design. We had to design a whole set in a 3D software, and besides that I had to make some kind of artwork. For my part, it was easy because I found a Photoshop preset that I can just apply. It was with a partner too, and then for my friend, he had to design the 3D part. I helped him a bit, but like the long part was that it's a 3D software. It's heavy, so his computer
the
was having
lags, is
trouble.
it?
Yeah, so one click you have to wait 3 seconds, and in the morning
that one
before
takes a lot of
the
time.
deadline, the computer crashed, and yeah, but we survived. And then we got into the top 6 first day of class after the project. We discussed the whole project, and we were in the top 6 of the batch. And the professor at that day, my friend wasn't there, and the professor was mad at me because the picture I put in the PDF file was not landscape, it was portrait.
because of that.
Yeah, because of that she was
That's
extremely
quite
mad.
simple.
My friend was complaining like he rendered it HD already. It's just zoom, and yeah, I got scolded. The whole class was silent. It was very awkward for me. I could
Awkward.
just nod, and Yeah, just nod and stay quiet because you don't talk back to your professor.
Sad.
Of course.
So that's one professor, but really the problems you face not only with professors in my major because it's film, it's also the people that take care of the equipment, filming equipment in university. It's I think my friends are starting to scheme to think that it's a scam because it's almost every time that you borrow something from them, something is missing, like a very small part that you won't notice until you give it back. It like a small bolt, but not a common one. So yeah, once those things are gone, you gotta buy a new one for them. There was this time where my friend's friend returned a tripod. I think one of the most common things to lose is a bolt in a tripod, and he returned
A
it.
bolt in a tripod, like one of the bolts holding it together in place.
Yeah, the knob
Okay.
to tighten it. Yeah. And my friend's friend, when he returned it, the person said the bolt isn't there, the knob isn't there. So my friend's friend, he took a knob from another tripod in the room, like in the same room he borrowed it from. So like one of his group mate distracted the guy, and then he took the knob and just attached it to his current tripod, and it's fine. But yeah, that's the annoying part. I think most of the equipment I've borrowed, something is missing and we have to replace it. And plus the people there aren't friendly as well. It's like when you borrow a camera, when you buy or borrow or rent a camera, logically you should have a battery with it, right?
Yeah.
It's already inside. And there was this one time the battery wasn't in it, and my friend asked kindly, like, where's the battery? And then the person just responded in a rude, like passive aggressive way, like, did you borrow it?
Passive aggressive.
Yeah. That question can be asked back kindly, but the tone she asked it in was yeah, horrible.
Very passive aggressive.
Yeah, passive aggressive is the best way to describe it. And then another time, borrowed a camera. We finally borrowed the battery, and in the lobby, like we haven't gone off that far. We just borrowed it. We went to the lobby of the university. We tried the camera. I think I think we borrowed the battery from the same place as well, and like it doesn't fit. Like we didn't know what the problem was because it should have fit, and apparently there was a small part that was bent inside the camera or something.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money to fix that. So we're basically fixing the camera for the campus.
Shit.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry you went through that. That was like terrible, and you're just kind of wasting money for something that's not even what you own.
Yeah, I know. And film students there, we talk a lot about that, and apparently it happens a lot. Like students borrowing something, a small thing is broken or missing. They don't know it, like, but they have to change it. So yeah, a lot of things was fixed for the campus itself.
Don't you like check the equipment before you borrow, or
We do. We always do. But it's
Somehow in that state.
yeah, it's just that the equipment, we don't always use the same equipment, right? Many times we use new equipments, like a different type of camera, different type of lens, because there are a lot of types, and we're new to that. It's also our fault, I guess, because we aren't that detailed. We don't know which every detail we have to check. So those parts we miss, and when we want to use it, something's wrong. There goes our part. What I'm also wondering, like, how come they give us broken equipments? Like, shouldn't they have checked it before they, like, when they receive it from other students?
Yeah,
Because
they should have done that.
yeah, they check the exact same part that was broken when we return it, right? So they should have known that if another student returned it in that condition.
They don't have like a log for
What?
A lot like when you borrow books in library.
Like you need to register and then like say what your name ID is, and then you return it. You borrow this at what time, and then you return it at what time and what date.
Yeah,
True.
but they don't bother to check. So like if we, it's in your hands already, and you just leave the area of in which the room was, and then
Oh boy.
apparently something's broken. You come back, it's immediately your fault. They don't check. They don't look back.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Very nice.
They don't have like a log of like what is supposed to be like broken at first, you know, like it's already broken before you borrow it, or
No, honestly, I've never seen them check it. It's so the room is like, you have a pile of tripod here and then some equipments here, and when you ask to borrow something, they just take it and give it to you. Yeah, and most of the time you get one broken equipment. Yeah, I don't think they have a log for that or something like it. I don't see them checking anything before giving it to you. They just get your ID, give it to you. If it's broken, you have to change it, or else your ID will be held there. And you need your ID to check in your attendance.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a huge risk.
man, that's
Pain.
troublesome.
That's pain right there.
Uh-huh. That's why my friend often call it a scam.
He has all the right to call it a scam.
Yeah, I think it's just that if they
Careful.
communicate with
Much more
the students more, like this thing is, let's say you just borrowed it, you literally just borrowed this half an hour ago, you came back to report that this is broken, instead of immediately blaming it on the student, maybe they could, ask questions or ask questions and then check the logs, those kinds of things, like actually investigating who broke it or when it broke.
True.
Yeah.
Who done it?
That's
I agree.
the life of a film student with those kinds of people.
It do be like that sometimes.
How about you, Jerry? I hear you have really interesting lectures, professors that you remember.
I don't have a lot, I guess, but I can only remember two. That's pretty interesting. Do you guys want to start off with I like to call him Dormammu, and the other one is Mr. Smiley Face. I call him Mr. Smiley Face because he always laughs a lot in class.
Alright, Dormammu then.
Okay.
Dormammu.
So I was in design when I met this lecturer. I was in one of his classes, and imagine the most smug, prideful bastard who thinks he is holier than thou, kind of, with the holier than thou kind of attitude. And
I
he's
can
basically
imagine a holy
just,
circle in his head.
it's more like he's basically looking down on everyone, but then like, so just
The
imagine like,
most despicable kind of person.
basically. So one day I was like, okay, we have to hand him this typography work, which is basically like making fonts, font styles and whatnot. So I handed him my work, and then the first thing he says is like, "Did a dumpster man make this?" I'm like, and not like quietly to me. He literally just said to the whole class, like when I put that on the wall, it's like, "Did a dumpster man make this?" I'm like. The amount of blood that was boiling that day, I was like, can you not, please? Can you not? I know it sucks, but that's the point why I'm here. Okay, so, please, Have mercy. I mean, there are a lot of guys like that in other universities, so I didn't get too much under my skin, except when I tried to submit a late work. So there was one time I was late to school because of traffic jam, because traffic jam from my place to the university is insane. Uh, I thought to myself like, okay, if even though it's late, at least I still get a score, you know. And then like when I arrived at the office, like I tried to give the guy my work, and he's like, "You know what time it is?" I'm like, "Yes, I know. I'm late and everything." And then he's like, "So?" And we just
So-
and we just and we just sat there. I just stood there awkwardly staring into his eyes, and he's just awkwardly staring into my eyes. Why are you still? And he just goes at me. Why are you still here? To submit my work. And he's like, well, it's past the submission time. Just get out. And I'm like, but. And then I basically tried to negotiate that. I know I'm late and whatnot, but look, at least I'm trying, you know. And he's like, fine, fine. Now he gets my work, and then he tells me, but I'm gonna minus like 50, your 50 from your score. I'm like, yeah, it's fine as long as I get a score or something. And then lo and behold, fuck 0.
Oh my. It's
like,
one of those, huh?
this guy is fuck you, you know. And the reason why I
by,
called him,
by you having a 0 score, does that mean 50 minus 50?
yeah, basically.
The hell?
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, and the reason why I called him Dormammu is because during the negotiation process, he kept saying no, 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 and telling me to get out. I think that happened like 10 times in the span of 30 minutes. And then like it
You're like-
finally worked.
You're like
I was like-
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Yeah, it's basically Dormammu, I've come to bargain. No, destroyed. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Destroyed. Yeah, that's basic. That's why I call him Dormammu.
Dormammu, destroyer.
And then the next one is Mr. Smiley. Okay, so at first I didn't like Mr. Smiley because he had a similar attitude to Dormammu. At first, I didn't like him because he has a similar attitude to Dormammu. He basically likes to make fun of the students' work and whatnot. But it's all. But apparently, I didn't like that at first. But then, like, when I started making it, I realized it's more just like out of pure fun. So I decided to just like casually just let him do his thing. And then like one day I submitted something that was pretty good. But like not enough to pass. But then he basically just like told me his life story one day, and I just saw him in a different perspective. And he basically told me that, you know, I wasn't always like a grade A kind of guy. I was mostly just I was mostly just like I was mostly a C student. So or even then I was even worse actually, he said. And he basically just told me that he actually finished university in like six years. He almost didn't pass because of one class, which he actually hated. But then, like he said, even though, no matter how much you hate the class, just try and persevere on, and maybe like hopefully one day the lecturers see your efforts, and who knows, maybe you'll have a breakthrough. So don't stop trying. And immediately at
true.
that point, I just like respected him. So yeah, that was a sort of a redemption arc for him, I guess.
Redemption arc.
Yeah, that was a redemption arc for him. So I saw him in a different light. And I think that's it, really. Like my current teachers in English education major had nothing interesting yet, at least. Nothing interesting yet. There is drama among students, but I don't want to get into that. So yeah, I don't know. Next person, I guess.
Wait, so you bonded with Mr. Smiley Face.
Yeah, technically, somewhat.
How did it come to that? Like,
I was actually like, it was in midterms, and I got a very bad. I wouldn't say very bad. I would say less than average kind of score, and I was pretty down. And he probably like said he probably looked at me, and he's like, he saw me pretty down. He's just like, hey, you know what? And he just said like, hey, it's fine. Hey, look, it's fine. You know, like you can always improve better. And then like I guess some part of me is like, I thought like he was about to like lecture me and like say, oh, you can do better, and then I didn't expect him to say that, so I was like, okay, this guy is actually not that bad. So yeah, that's how I became friends with Mr. Smiley Face. So yeah.
Oh, wow, he's actually nice.
Yeah, he's actually nice, but with a very cold exterior. That's it.
Don't judge people by their faces, I guess.
Attitude, really.
Mask, their mask. Okay, and civil engineer kids,
Yo.
Yo,
right? Glenn first.
hi.
What semester are you in again?
Going to my 7th semester, my last one. Woo!
But you can't go to internship, so
Funny
Get an online
thing,
internship.
my internship is basically now to like research about things on like online and on YouTube and stuff.
Oh,
So like I don't
nice.
actually. I mean, it sucks. Like, I'm not gonna be able to like tell like my employers on like what am I gonna like what high experience I have, but like that's a compromise, I guess.
What's your experience? I watch YouTube about how to create cement.
Yeah.
I play Minecraft, sir. I have experience in Minecraft.
Honestly, very accurate.
Minecraft is awesome.
Put that in your resume.
I have experience
If I
in
were to learn
Terraria.
physics,
I'm
I
also
would
good in
like to
Terraria,
learn
sir.
Minecraft physics.
For the lectures, I don't think like I really had like anyone who really like grinded on my like got really close to like pissing me off or something, except for like this one lecturer. Not exactly a lecturer. I mean, he's a lecturer, but not for me. Like for me, he's like the project supervisor, basically.
Is his initials GP?
Yes. I think I've told you
Oh.
guys this, but like
Yeah.
he's just like really this busybody dude who like just disappeared for like half the semester, and like my project didn't end up getting reviewed by him, and like come the thesis, like the project defense, basically, where like we come in and like bring the project to be like criticized by other professors. My group got destroyed, and
Yours got destroyed.
as in like, oh, there's a lot of like
A lot of
bad
mistakes and
things.
such.
Yeah, it's all bad, and basically this project is extended to my next semester. So like I have that project on top of my other projects, including my thesis later on, and it sucks. Yeah. I mean, other than that, I think like my lectures are pretty cool. Like most are ignorant, I guess. So like they don't really care if you like come in late or whatever. Because like they have their own lives. They're mostly busy. Like they can like they're just basically there to like spout information. Basically, only like a few notable ones are actually there to actually teach you. Which I respect, of course. But yeah. Aside from this one dude who I don't really like that much, I don't think. Yeah, they're cool.
Well, so your lecturers mostly they're just literally just there to do their job.
Mostly, I feel like, yeah. I mean, there are one or two, like, say my structural engineering professor, who is very kind and is there to like really teach you stuff, but mostly, yeah, most of them are just there to like just teach. Yeah.
What about like the other people you interact with in university? Those handling documents and things, they're all no problem there.
I don't think there's any problems. They do their job well. I haven't really encountered anything that's that I really despise about them. Like they're not exactly slow. Once we request anything, we get. Maybe like with like a delay of like a few days or so, but then it gets processed. Yeah.
Oh wow! So this is what normal sounds like.
Yeah.
I've
This
never
is normal.
Yeah, I've never experienced it.
I haven't really like gone like having to actually borrow some things as in like take them home and like use them. Usually like in my lab subjects it's just there on the spot making things, you know. So, and they're supervising too. So like if we break anything, we replace on the spot basically, but they know that it's us because like we're breaking it in front of them, of course. If we do break anything, which I think I haven't broken anything
You
as
think?
far as I recall.
You think?
I
You
think
think?
This
I
doesn't
might
sound
have
very
like
convincing.
chipped like the tip of the glass from like the dropper kind of things, if you know, like the things that you use
The-
to
the
drop
pipette?
water.
The
Yeah,
pipette.
the pipette. Yeah, I think I have done that before, but then they didn't know.
Wait, how did it happen? What?
It still works. I mean, it still drops water. It's like the tip doesn't matter, you know. Like yeah.
Stealth deception 100.
If it
Good thing,
works,
like,
it's not
most
broken.
of the equipment are made of metal and like can't exactly break those very often. If anything, like if you drop them, the floor, like the ceramic breaks instead of like the equipment because it's heavy.
Okay, so Glenn slept in class and broken equipment.
Well, I mean, like it's
not-
just like a tip of the glass. It doesn't count as breaking.
I thought Glenn was a straight A goody two shoes student. Apparently not. Apparently not.
I don't think.
This
No.
these anecdotes has brought light into
I
his
haven't really
actual.
gotten any A's like recently, except for like this semester because of like the COVID-19 pandemic and like we
Teamwork?
get like basically handout scores. Yeah, it's like at least we get a B. That's like the thing that they put out because like of the pandemic. And I got A's on a couple subjects. Great. Like, yeah, my GPA
Congrats.
like slightly rose. Yeah, I haven't felt that rising GPA since my third semester, I think.
That surge of bliss, seeing your GPA rise.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like Glenn mostly has a normal life, I guess.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah. What about JS? You're also in civil engineering, but in another country.
How's
Yeah,
China? How's China?
I'm in the country of the snow, baby.
You're
Yeah,
not in
snow,
Russia.
okay.
You're in China.
Oh, yeah.
You're in Harbin.
I'm close though.
You're very close,
Yeah.
but so
So-
close yet so far.
Lectures. Lectures? I think in my case, like all the lectures, because since I'm in an international class, like the lecturers, the professors all speak English mostly. But the funny thing is, like in class when they teach, there's gonna be time when they're like, guys, I don't seem to know the English word for this. Can I just speak in Chinese?
Great.
And then everyone's gonna be like, are we gonna understand if you speak in Chinese? Yeah, you guys can understand. I think you guys can. Then when he starts speaking in Chinese, just ching chong chang. Yeah, that happens.
What about Google
happens.
Translate?
What do you mean translate?
Google Translate. Why not use your phone
You
to
know, in
search?
China.
Oh,
Google
that's
doesn't
right. That's right.
work.
Alright, Google
It's
doesn't
China.
exist.
Welcome to Communism 101.
No, but I think mostly the professors are really like kind and good, and like I said in the last episode, the Chinese respect international people. So yeah, I feel like I get the respect I deserve. Like
You
Not-
deserve?
You
I
deserve.
deserve.
You deserve respect. Oh my
Like-
god.
But I respect the professor too, of course. But mostly like they're really good. Like we don't understand something, we just go to them like we call them 老师, of course. Like 老师, can you teach us this? And then he's just like, yeah, I can teach you this. Just comes and then suddenly like ching chong
they're
chang chang.
nice.
Oh, why are you speaking in Chinese, 老师? And then he's gonna like, cause you understand Chinese, right? You're a good student. Yeah. I
Yeah.
understand.
yes,
Then
yes, sir.
He
I'm
keeps
not
speaking
going to
for
question.
another 10 minutes and I don't understand anything he talks about. That's basically the summary of my campus life.
I go there, but I feel like an alien.
True.
Because you're there for the snow.
Oh, there's actually some lectures which are like really strict. They're gonna be like, I think the class, if I think Glenn knows this class, it's construction material.
Yeah, I know that class.
That class, like, there's a lot to memorize and a lot to like know about. You have to get familiarized with this. So every day he just calls every one of us and just like, have you read the textbook?
Wow, really? He calls every one of you. I don't
He
think that my
really
professor's
calls-
ever
like,
done that
there's
at
a
all.
class
Like,
group,
you
right?
know.
My class is only like around 8 people, so calling 8
I
people is
see.
not a
Right.
big deal. True.
Like after class, like they just it's just like they disappear from existence. You know, you can't contact them or anything. For me, you know, like the only time they exist is when they're holding their lectures.
And then sometimes there's those teachers like, I don't want you to have my phone number. I don't want you to contact me. We only discuss things in class.
You know,
That's
Exactly,
that's-
yeah.
in that class, the professor made like the scoring system, right? Like 40% from final exam, 25 from the midterm exam, 15 from homeworks and exercise and all.
Why would you even bother doing the homeworks then?
and you know 20% is from whether you answer his calls and answer his questions or not.
What the
Shit.
That takes up 20% of
I mean,
the
that's
class
good, though.
score.
I mean, that encourages you to actually
No, but
listen.
the thing is,
So
it's like you know, if it's campus life, you're gonna take some rest at a moment, right? So yeah, I gotta play games sometime. Then when I'm playing games, like say for example I'm playing CS:GO, and then I'm like getting tilted, I'm getting angry, like why aren't I getting the kills, right? Then suddenly this professor calls me like, have you read the textbook? Of course not! No, but I didn't answer it like that though. I just like, of course not.
Of course.
of
Not.
course
like-
not.
No,
Why
Yeah.
did you read it? You should be familiar with these subjects and blah 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 blah. Okay, let me just ask you like some questions. Like I was like, what?
While playing CSGO.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like I'm in the middle of playing, right? And then suddenly like, you gonna ask me some questions? While I'm in the Discord with my friends? Like what? Okay, at that moment I just stopped playing and it's like, okay, tell me the questions.
I mean, at least like you know, like he really cares about you. You know,
Yeah.
like they still exist even outside your lectures, unlike like
It's like
most people.
For me, they're easy to be fine. Like I can just go to their office and just like, hey, Lao Shi, can I ask this question? Yeah, okay. Why not? And then like that happens. The ching chong chang.
Ching chong bala bing
But I can
bong.
say that I can say that my lecturers are good. They're really good. And they care about the students, especially like one class only 8 students. Why wouldn't they?
I mean, it's a very small class. Might as well get attached, you know.
A very small class.
Yeah, first few classes of university, I was told so many times by the professors like, you're in uni. There are a lot of filmmakers here, people who know stuffs. Don't like keep digging about information here. Don't just go home immediately after classes. But the thing is,
You
some
immediately went.
well, I did ish. I had other activities, but the thing is, like, when you ask a question, sometimes lecturers are like, you don't know this, how could you? And then they kind of chastise you for not knowing something, or like for asking. So that kind of builds up in me after a while. And in filming the first few semesters, I think we were all, as 2016 kids, were all beaten down with that kind of attitude. And then in the 6th semester, we actually finally kind lecturer that accepts questions and really tolerates us, but instead, like, all of us stayed silent, and he was like, why are you all so silent? And yeah, that's what happened if you keep on beating down on new kids.
First impressions are everything, people.
No, the thing is, some teachers are like, hey, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. But when you ask, they'll be like, what, aren't you paying attention? Something like that. So we just
Basically.
we don't want to ask anymore.
Yeah. And
It's like asking is like a double-edged sword. If you ask, you're gonna get criticized. If you don't ask, you're gonna get a question.
Oh, wait. But I found a good way to ask without looking like you have no idea what's going on. Just say something like, I would like to confirm that, followed by your question. And then
Yes.
just say, is that
Yes,
correct?
that
If it's correct,
is actually
he'll
a
say
good way.
yes.
Yeah, that is
If it's
actually
not
a very
correct,
good
he'll
way.
say no. It's neutral-ish, I guess, and
that's
kind
not
of
gonna
alive.
work in my major.
What?
I've got professors that would still get mad at you, like literally you ask if it's correct and they'll give you that didn't you listen face.
Well, you're just confirming. You should emphasize that I am trying to confirm that. Yeah, whatever. Something like that.
Like
should
one
help.
time while we were taking care of our internship files, like before starting internship, we have to take care of these files. And there was this part on the paper. We got briefed about internship 1 whole year before we actually take the internship class, and or at least one semester. It's for about 6 months to 1 year. So that's a long time, right? Obviously, you forgot some things, and there was this part on the paper that says you need the head of the major's signature, and I don't remember in the brief that you were told this specifically, but logically you see that on the paper, you ask for the signature from the head of the major, right? My friend went to him and he got scolded again, didn't you hear about the brief? I don't need to sign this, even though it obviously said it needed his sign. So yeah, he walked out without the signature and submitted it. It was accepted. Yeah, but we didn't know that we were
I feel
we
you.
felt we were wrong.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah,
You didn't get like a book or like a brochure or anything?
Brochure.
we had a sort of there was a PDF file, but it explained, so you have to take care. Let's say the first paper you have to fill this in, right? And then after that you give it to someone, and then you get the second paper, you have to fill this in, you give it to this other guy. And yeah, we get those parts. We get the parts where who we have to give it to, and then where we get the next paper from. But it didn't specifically say whose signature you need and whose signature you don't need. So yeah, as I said before, logically, if you said it needs this person's signature in the paper, you'll ask that person, even though it wasn't mentioned in the PDF file. Yeah, even though that happened, we were still in the wrong. So yeah, my friend really hated those kinds of things.
Well, I mean, it's administration. It's just, yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, some professors are just like that. But I think it's important that you don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask.
Mm-hmm.
In the first semester, I did ask a lot of things because my brother and my mom was like, you gotta be active in class, you'll get extra points. And I did get good grades, but I got tired of that thing.
Asking.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of person. Being active in class sucks the energy out of me.
You're a true introvert.
I'd rather copy someone else's notes rather than being really active in class. That's just what I've been doing.
Sound a lot like Ben.
And I take notes and everything. Yeah, I think I'm one of those students, very rare students, that goes in class, take his notebook out and prepares a pen, whereas everybody just sits and hold their phone. Like, even though the class doesn't guarantee that there are notes to take, I still prepare it. But yeah, about asking, no. I'll just wait. And what about you, Natasha? You're also in art. Nat,
Hello, yeah.
what about you? You're also in art.
Wait, my what? Sorry.
Your lectures.
Right. So, would you like me to start with my drawing lecturer or my audiovisual lecturer?
A lot of lecturers.
Yeah.
Let's start with audiovisual.
Okay, so this visual lecturer is, I don't know how to say it, but he's just so eccentric, I guess. He wears all black. So like black pants, black shoes, black shirt, black blazer. He even wear black shades indoors.
Is this
Stylish.
is this Aizawa Sensei?
Yeah, I guess. But like he's kind of intimidating. Like, he has this permanent frown, and when he looks at you, all your courage just goes poof. I think Glenn saw him once.
Yes.
And
I think I saw him once too.
Isn't it the guy that we met during
Yeah, our
the
photo
first-
shoot, right?
very
Yes,
first
yes,
photo
yes,
shoot?
yes.
Yeah.
It's that guy. Okay,
It's Aizawa Sensei.
Aizawa.
Yeah, Aizawa Sensei, that guy, all right. Yeah. But that was outside of campus, and
I
that's
was
because
actually intimidated as well.
see, you're not even speaking to him, and he was like being friendly. He smiled at me. Well, maybe partly because I'm friendly with him, and partly because we're outside of campus. But yeah, you get the idea. He's that intimidating. But imagine consulting to him and him looking at you with his signature frown. It's like your mind just goes blank and you stutter, and then he will be like, "Can you repeat what you said? I do not get it clearly." And then you're like, "Oh fuck!" Like, in the end, you just kind of failed the consultation.
Yikes.
And then he told you to like research more on your topic and don't be so nervous, something like that. If he's close to you, and if he's not that close to you, he'll coldly say something like, just go back, research on your work, and just improve more, something like that. He's scary. But anyway, okay. This guy is, even though he's like that scary and such, he's actually a very professional lecturer. I guess he works in various film companies and stuff, and he has like a lot of knowledge in what he do. What else? Oh, and I made him into my illustration mentor because he also teach illustration other than audiovisual, and I guess I kind of click with him and like over time, I don't get as nervous even though I'm still nervous. Yeah, there's no helping the nervousness when you're around him. He's scary. Anyway, the drawing lecturer now. Let's say in class, there's this one time where someone left a piece of paper in class. It has a picture of boobs, just boobs.
Wow.
And then this lecturer, yeah.
Man of culture, I see.
Interesting.
We like them.
A man of culture.
Well, now my lecturer found like that drawing of boobs, this drawing lecturer, and he said very loudly and angrily, "Who draw boobs?" And then the entire class are just quiet. But then he said, "If you're gonna draw boobs, do it properly." And everyone just lost it.
Oh, I'm gonna
Interesting.
stand up and clap for him.
Wow, that's actually
That's a
actually
good
a valid
one.
reason.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm literally gonna throw onions at him.
What?
I'm literally gonna throw onions at him because
But
he's a
why?
He likes to troll with people, that's why.
Yeah.
What else? Well, I don't really have any other lectures I don't like. Okay, let's just talk about my animation. I almost say anime. My animation lecturer.
Your anime lecture.
My
Yes.
animation lecturer. He's the type of lecturer that expects huge progress every week. So many of the students hate him because it's like, well, we have other classes and not just his class. So if we can only reach his expectations if we work every single day. So that meant that his expectations are not reached by many people in the class, except for those who are like robots and always working. Me. Okay, yeah, that's me. I wish I have a life, honestly, but yeah, I can't really rest well until I finish everything. So I always have progress whenever his class rolls around and he kind of warms up to me, I suppose. But well, I guess that's the advantage because when you become the benchmark in his class, you'll always get the good grades.
Wow, I'm the complete opposite. I always like push things back to the very last week.
Although, okay, coming from the perspective of a guy who's basically like a B or C student, especially I had a lecturer similar to that, I think, but I really hated that kind of thing because like I had a friend who was literally basically just like you, like she was basically the standard for everyone, and he was always like, look at her work. Why can't you be like this? You know?
Yeah,
There
no.
was- yeah.
He doesn't do that. He just kind of
he
grades
doesn't do that?
everyone
Okay.
quiet. He
Okay.
doesn't say that
Okay.
explicitly out
Yeah,
loud.
that is fine. Yeah, that is fine because back then when I was in drawing lecture, luckily I passed. Amen. There was this one lecturer. He wasn't my lecturer per se, but like sometimes he would come in and he's like, "Look at her work. It's good. Why can't you guys be?" And I'm like,
No, that's annoying.
"You want me, a beginner, to fight a fucking person who taught herself for years and years without end? Yeah, right. I can just magically make up a fucking scene in
I
no
feel
time."
you. Yeah,
I
but
hate
like
this. I
he
really
doesn't
hate this
exactly
kind of
say something like that. He would just grade quietly, and after class he would like call me, "Hey, what do you think about this guy's work? Do you think we should give him like how much should we give him?" Something like that. I will be like, I'll try to be kind as possible at least. I don't want to fail people or stuff.
Assistant lecturer, right there.
No, not officially. But I think that's it for me. Like, not many other very interesting ones. Yeah, that's it.
I had a lecturer warm up to me and my friend, not because I was just doing my job as a student, but not because I did a good job, but because the whole class sucks. Like literally, the students in the class are somehow a cluster of those students in the past semesters that failed a lot of different classes, totally lazy. And my friend isn't exactly a diligent student as well, but I think it's because he's with me in that class that I always push him to where I am, even though sometimes he's lazy. And like, he always sit beside me, so the lecturer sees us as like a pair. So I guess lucky him. And in that class there were also like only 3 girls, and those girls were like the diligent ones. So the rest of the boys, look lazy asses
Look,
and lazy asses. I mean,
lazy comparatively.
no, not compared to me, but like extremely lazy. There was
How lazy are we talking about here?
How do I explain this? Because usually, I only remember the last few meetings of the class, where it was a class where we had to prepare our thesis. It's not the whole thesis. It's just the beginning. It helps you to get on your feet, test the waters. You know the basic idea of how to make the thesis and what you want to make, and we also learned to present it, practiced it, and in the last few meetings of the class, we had to present it like it was the real thing, and I did my job. I got to go home after I present mine, and my friend was still there, so after that I listened to his stories about other students in the class. It was horrible. Like literally the lecturer were really scolding many of the presenters in front because their presentation wasn't the best. Like it didn't really tell what their thesis is about. I can't really give an example because I wasn't there. But imagine a normal person normal person presenting their thesis, telling what it's about, the information, how the introduction and all that. Imagine that normal person and then reduce 70% of the information that person gives. So literally just give the introduction, like just 2 lines about what the thesis is about. And then for the theories, we also discuss the theories. For the theories, just list the books and generally what they're about. Like that's all you get from the person. I think that's how bad it is. Like no details. Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad if I say it, but I think if you meet the people,
I guess.
it's most of the people are those popular kids in class but aren't good at their studies. Yeah. Another one, I think the most chill lecture I had was film scoring. It was so chill. I don't think I learned anything. Like a whole semester, because you really go in class, you sit down, you make music, you go home. You even if you don't make music, you can just watch YouTube for the whole class, you go home. The only 2 activities we had that actually had like activities of the lecturer being there and we had to do something was watch a movie. We watch a movie.
Just watch a movie.
Yeah, literally, just in class we watch a movie and we go home, we make a review about it, submit it, and that's it. And then for the rest of the semesters and for the midterm exams, we had to compose 6 pieces of music and then another piece for a short film. And then for the final,
you have to compose everything yourself?
yeah. So for a short film, any short film that we have permission to use or our own short film, we have to compose a music for the whole thing. I think it was limited to 3 minutes, I think. And then for the final exam, we had to do live performance music. So while the short film is playing, we should have a band playing the music. It's like the old film before sound was...
With the Foley and everything?
No, not the Foley, just the music.
Ah.
Yeah, and all I did for the whole class with him was just ask like, what do you think of this music on this part? And then he was like, that's alright. Okay, and that's all. That's the only interaction I have with him for the whole semester. Just that one interaction.
Oh.
And the final exam, the drummer fell off a motorcycle, so he couldn't come, so I told the lecturer. That's another interaction. Yeah, but that's it. It was a really chill dude. Right, that was quick. That is all for today.
That's it?
Ben
Wait, how long
Ben
has
and
it?
Rafi are not with us, so it's a
Wait, how
shorter
long is
episode
it?
today.
Yeah.
Wait, how long have we been calling?
Yeah.
Oh, it's less than an hour. Wow.
I think like there's not really that much to discuss about like
But we're
Like-
talking about friends.
yeah, aside from like them are the
Okay,
same.
thank
yeah.
you very much, everyone, for joining me in another episode.
Yes.
It's a short one because Ben and Rafi aren't here. Yeah.
They're
So
too busy with life.
No, Rafi is having renovations. Ben is probably fallen asleep.
probably.
Week.
Thank you and goodbye.
Arigatai.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I'll put links to the music in the show notes. And if you want to ask a question, share your story, or just say hi, you can reach us on Instagram at NotOurPodcast. See you next episode and have a great life.